Goo goes raw. Timberlake's Tiny Pekka. Christmas Day box office. Is the price wrong for Happy Gilmore 2? Anya Taylor-Joy got your tongue. Sony CEO blames the critics. Denis says, like, I didn't read ahead. Denis says, no phone for you. And Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492.
All of that and so much more. But first, news dump. Mac, what did Crashmore get you for Christmas?
So we just spent the first 10 minutes of news dump trying to make my one of my Christmas gifts work. My father texted me the other day. I said, hey, just wanted to interested to know your opinion. Like, do you like earbuds, AirPods? And I was like, no, I actually hate them. They hurt my ears. I don't use them at all. Mm-hmm. And so on Christmas morning, I got a pair of AirPods Pro. So I just tried to use them here in our Mac and Goose setup, and they just wouldn't work. So I'm ready to throw these in the trash bin.
Go! Do you not like the feel of those? I'm sorry. Do you not like the feel of them?
I gotta say, first of all, it takes me way too long to put them in my ear. It's because I don't, it's just not like working as fluid as it should for something so little. But I wore them for like 30 minutes the other day, give them a little test run. They didn't hurt my ear. So maybe these are better, more ergonomic than prior iterations. So, so far I got on a 2 thumbs up system. I probably have 1 thumb up. So,
okay. Cause I just got that exact same pair and I love them. Okay. And I didn't like them before.
Yeah. Same. I'm not an earbuds guy at all. Goo.
Yeah.
Did Crashmore get Goo anything?
Yep. I got one thing for Christmas. It's all I asked for. And it is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza cutter where the handle is like Raphael's sigh.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. You don't have 2 though?
I can't cut pizza with 2 hands. You got to hold the pizza with 1.
But you never know when you're going to need a second one.
You never know when you're going to get. My favorite part of Christmas, obviously, is watching my 4-year-old just tear apart gifts. And this year, he was a little monster when it came to once he opened one gift, he needed another one.
Yeah, didn't even care what it was. On to the next one.
Didn't care anymore.
On to the next one. Yeah. My mother also got me a new pair of golf shoes. She insists on getting me something every year. I'm like, Mom, fine. You know what I'll actually use and it'll be helpful to me? Golf shoes. So now it's like 3 or 4 years running. She'll get me a new pair of golf kicks, which I actually enjoy. It's a good little back and forth.
My mother insists that I open something as well. And what she did was wrapped many boxes and then she put money inside the box. Each box had 1 piece of money in it.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
Which I appreciate the money because I need it.
That's what I give my siblings money because they're mostly adults now. And my youngest one's a college kid. So like all you want as a college kid is money.
Do you wrap them in giant Macy's boxes?
No, I handed it to them. And I said, this is from the bottom of my heart.
News done. Back, I went to Raw. WWEF? Is it E now? I think it's E. I went to Raw, had myself a time, went with my family, saw some wrestlers slamming about, and I'm here to tell you, it's heading to Netflix on January 6th. And from what I'm hearing...
is this a paid advertisement?
What I'm hearing from the last Google search I just did, this is going to be a WrestleMania level event.
On January 6th?
Yeah.
Did they pick that date for the wrong reasons?
Yeah, a little Christmas. It's Armenian Christmas.
Goo.
Yeah.
I have not been to a WWE event since like 2013, maybe. I went to a house event at Madison Square Garden when I was in New York City. We were there like, fuck it, we'll go. Prior to that, I went to like SmackDown in maybe like 2004. I was a huge wrestling fan from like 98 to maybe like 03 in that range. So I also went to an AEW event a couple years ago. Live wrestling's fun because guys are doing athletic shit, you know, so you can always enjoy going to it. I don't follow it anymore. I haven't followed it in like a decade. I haven't been into it in 2 decades, but you can still get enjoyment out of a live wrestling event. That's for sure. How did Rafi like it?
Oh, Rafi loved it. He loved everyone, slamming into each other, throwing each other down, slapping each other, punching each other. CM Punk was close enough for us to smooch.
Is Rafi now at home jumping off stuff he wasn't previously jumping off of?
No, he's always been jumping off stuff, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not saying that he's gonna be there, but Google said that Randy Orton might be making an appearance.
Ooh, he's the legend killer.
Is it?
I will say, if anyone knows anything about wrestling, one of the things might be the RKO's out of nowhere. Randy like sort of transcends wrestling, like much like John Cena does. There's a few superstars that always make their way into the mainstream, and Randy Orton is one of them.
There have been 2 videos circulating the last couple days on social media of Stone Cold Steve Austin giving Santa Claus the stunner,
Yeah,
which I
and
think that was our weapon of choice during high school baseball, was to give each other the
yeah,
stunner.
I liked the Fame Asher too. If someone was bending down, you'd fucking smash it with a Fame Asher. Santa, by the way, one of the worst stunner sells ever. It's like he never practiced it. It was a tough sell.
Well, it's a busy time of the year for him. He can't practice. He's making presents. And then the other one was a house show where someone was dressed as Jesus and they were like force choking people
I
or
saw
like having them do
I saw
flips and
that
shit.
clip.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Pretty good. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
News dump. See the video of Justin Timberlake wearing a harness at a show, and you can see the little outline of his little ding dong.
So I didn't see this because I'm duly offended as Justin is as one with a
It's
tiny
weird because
pecker.
you Google search
I
Timberlake.
gargle tiny peckers. That's what I do.
Google
I
Timberlake stick every day.
every day I'm looking for Timberlake dick updates, and finally we got one after months and months we've been waiting. Uh, I don't. So anyone that's ever worn a harness knows that it fucking crunches your ball sack, no matter which way you wear it, and it can maybe make it look smaller. Maybe he's wearing spandex underneath. I don't know.
Look
I
at
haven't
Mac
seen
out
the
here
image.
defending people who wear harnesses. I forgot that you do wear a harness often. So I guess you are the person to talk to.
I don't wear a harness often, but I have worn harnesses, and I'll tell you, they're very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't- I'm just saying. Listen, in a time during the season where we're supposed to be spreading happiness and love, this is not happiness and love. God damn it,
Rough year for Timberlake.
and tiny peckers. But it's a rough year for tiny peckers every year.
News dump. Big Christmas day at the movie theaters. Mufasa, a bit of a comeback after a rough opening weekend. Over $14.5 million on the opening day. Nosferatu, $11.5 million, the second biggest R-rated movie Christmas Day history, I think. I might have just made that up. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, only $10.5 million, but it made a ton in its opening weekend. A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie, rated R, 7.5. This might have been the second biggest R-rated open. There's a whole bunch of things that people talk about with all this stuff. Wicked Moana also did pretty well. And then Baby Girl, the Nicole Kidman sucking on fingers movie,
And Harris Dickinson.
made $1.5 million.
Yeah. So I have a decision to make, Goo. This weekend, I'm going to see one of these films. I'm not sure which one. I'm leaning Sonic at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, I might go Nosferatu. I'm leaning Sonic, but then I considered A Complete Unknown because everyone is saying Timmy Shal's is so good. I don't know which one I should see, and I'm probably going to go see it in like 2 hours. So I got to make a decision quick.
I would say for me, let's have you see A Complete Unknown so we can talk about it next week.
I'll see A Complete Unknown when you see Anora.
How about you see that, and I might see Nosferatu this weekend. And I don't know if this makes you want to see it more or not. And this might have just been a joke on social media because everyone likes to joke on social media, but he's uncircumcised.
Sonic's the one I want to see most, I think, though. Is that
Same.
weird?
No, I mean, on social media, I know everyone likes to joke around on social media, but someone pointed out that name another trilogy where the movies get better every time, saying that this is even better than the second one. And the second one is okay.
Let's think about our listeners here. I think our listeners probably will have seen Sonic the most, so maybe we should see Sonic.
It depends. Maybe I'll take Rafi to the movies on Sunday then. Sonic. That's not a bad idea. But you should still today see A Complete Unknown. Doubleheader.
All right, I'll think about it. I can't. I got sent to TikTok the other day. A woman on TikTok went viral. She did a triple header on Christmas and saw these 3 movies.
I like that.
That's a lot of movies.
I also saw that Nicole Kidman is now 2/3 the way through Iron Claw. So watch out, Jeremy Allen White.
I think she's 2/4 of the way. But
She's
yes,
2/4. How many Iron Claws are there?
I think there's 5, but they only showed 4 in the movie. They cut one brother completely out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman is in her foxy mama stage, that's for sure. And I've never been a Nicole Kidman guy as late as yeah, I'm very into the redheads these days.
Mhm.
She's never really done it for me, mostly because she's tall and she's a
She
little
is
Nosferatu looking. Uh,
Oh, Mac, no.
but I gotta say, she's growing on me. I think it's the age thing. I think that's what I'm into these days.
You didn't like her as Dr. Chase Meridian?
Didn't care much for it, no.
How about when she was in Eyes Wide Shut, the movie that you would always stay up late to see and then watch and say, "What is happening?"
That's, Tom Cruise, right? Her and
Yeah,
Tom Cruise? Yeah.
that's the
I don't know,
orgy movie, right?
she's in the others. What's the best Nicole Kidman movie?
I'd have to look it up. She has an Oscar, doesn't she?
I don't know. I don't know if I like any Nicole Kidman
We're
movies.
not a Nicole Kidman podcast, Mac. Don't ask me dumb questions. What's that one that she's in with all the other, Big Little Lies?
That's a show.
Yeah.
I might agree. I think Big Little Lies is her best movie as well.
News dump. Got our first trailer. Or was it a teaser? It was Christmas Day. I was
It
so
was
high
yeah, it was
on
like 4
Snicker
clips.
trees that I just couldn't pay attention to anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we got something for Happy Gilmore too. And does Adam Sandler look half asleep in this movie? Or was it
But
just weird?
Adam Sandler has looked half asleep for 25 years now, so it's just sort of the way he looks, I suppose. We got him in the iconic Bruins jersey, iconic swing. We see Christopher McDonald as Shooter McGavin. We see
Shouldn't
Julie
have picked.
Bowen. We see Julie Bowen as presumably his wife, so we
Yeah.
get pretty much the whole gang back together here. So, I mean, this movie's not going to be good, but everyone's going to watch it.
Here we go. Goostradamus. She's dead in the movie. That's his happy place. Boom.
Oh, I won't care for that.
Well, I'm calling it now.
Do you think we get a second Julie Bowen in lingerie scene? Because that'll make the movie a thumbs up for me just alone.
No. I think that we get she's dead, and now he finds another 20-year-old that he's gonna be foxing
I
up.
won't care for that storyline.
Well, that's what Happy Gilmore does. I think.
He
Maybe.
boinks 20-year-olds.
Yep. News dump. Anya Taylor-Joy right now, the rumors of her possibly playing Black Cat in Spider-Man 4 are out there. Amy Pascal was asked if Anya Taylor-Joy is in the running to play Black Cat in Spider-Man 4. She said she would be fantastic. She's amazing, but we're not quite at that stage yet. There are a lot of fantastic female characters, but the internet is running with this. Mac, do you like this?
I love Anya Joy. I've liked her for a really long time. She's been a great actress for, I don't know, almost a decade now. I think she can do anything she wants. So if she wants to be the Black Cat, I think she'd be a great Felicia Hardy. It is a little bit of a weird fit because she hasn't really done movies like these, but maybe it's time for her to do something like this.
Wasn't she in New Mutants?
She was in New Mutants. Yes,
There we
that's
go.
right.
I just debunked you.
Yeah, you're right. She was Magic in New Mutants. Good call. What's that movie from like 6 years ago where her and her friend kill her stepfather?
Oh shit, I don't know.
It's a great movie. Great watch if you haven't watched it. But she stars in it, and that was the first movie of her. And Split was right around the same time. I'm like, oh, this girl's unbelievable. So she was in The Witch, of course, too. But yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy can do anything she wants, and I'm gonna be down for it.
News dump. Sony Pictures CEO Tony Vinciquerra. Good. We're good with that.
Vinciquerra.
Vinciquerra.
Quinceañera.
That they are rethinking the future of their Spider-Man villain spin-off movies, saying that if we're going to put another one out, it's going to get destroyed no matter whether or not it is good. And he believes that critics are to blame for their bad box office reception.
So here's obviously people have jobs and titles, and really rich guys are making decisions every day, and women sometimes. I
Just like
fear.
people.
Well, it's mostly rich men making these.
It usually
shitty
is in
decisions.
stories, but yes.
I fear that this guy is not a movie guy, right? He's like, if you thought Madam Web was good, if you thought Craven was good, you clearly like don't watch enough movies. Now, again, and Goo and I talk about it. You look at these Rotten Tomatoes audience scores, and you're like, oh, there's morons watching these movies, and it seems like Tony Quinceañera is one of them. Like, if you just don't watch enough movies, you don't have a full grip on what, especially the superhero comic book landscape. Like, come on, we need to do better than this. Like, you could just be like, yeah, we fucked up. You know, we're retooling things, rethinking about stuff. But to blame critics and I don't even know why you're blaming critics, is the people that didn't go and see it, and people went and saw some shitty movies for the last 3 years. So it's your movies, it's not the critics.
I would also argue. So first off, you mentioned that most of these people aren't movie people. Yeah, none of them are movie people. These are all the business people at the top. They don't care about the actual product. Also, the critic reception would only be like, that would hurt the opening weekend. But then once word of mouth came out how bad the movies are from other people, it would still do just as poorly.
Yeah, it's he again is so out of touch with this. Goo, before I forget it, Anya Taylor-Joy was in that movie Thoroughbreds. Great fucking movie. That was a year after Split. Obviously she was in Glass as well. New Mutants 2020, which like didn't even count. Everyone loved her from Queen's Gambit. Last Night in Soho, another underrated movie. Ending stinks, but 80% of that movie's great. Northman. Yeah, she's done a lot of great shit in a very short span. So anything she wants to do.
News dump. Denis Villeneuve told the LA Times that he has banned cell phones on his sets because he wants everyone locked in with the filming. It's forbidden. When I say cut, I don't want someone checking out Facebook. That last part makes him sound super old, right?
It does. It makes him sound really fucking old. Like he's right and he's wrong. So I get it. You want to have command of your set, and you're allowed to have command of your set. At the same time, like if you're not the main couple actors who aren't trying to stay locked in on a role, you know, you're not trying to man on the moon it, you're allowed to look at your phone during breaks. You know what I mean? Like if you're not method acting, I think it's okay to look at Snapface and all those social medias whenever you'd like to.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Doc sent me a message on how to put stickers on Legos better.
Oh, yeah. You maybe not have seen that TikTok then.
Well,
what kind of Lego set you building for F?
I already finished it. He wanted the Frozen set, with what we thought was a big castle. It's a really small castle. Price point on it, way too high. Should have been $50 less.
So that means you spent like $120?
I spent $100. It should have been $50 to $60.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's the one thing that he was asking for 2 months, so we had to give in.
Yeah, you got to do that.
What was the topic? I wasn't paying attention.
Aptly, you were buried in your phone while I was talking about it.
News dump. Christopher Nolan's next official movie will be an adaptation of the Odyssey. While we thought for a while it was a vampire movie or a crime noir, where did those stories come from that we now know that it's the Odyssey?
I don't know. The vampire movie is the Michael B. Jordan movie, though, right? That's the vampire movie?
I thought vampires were hot. Apparently not.
Credit to Davey for finding this and bringing this onto my timeline. Incredible meme in regards to the Odyssey and Odysseus.
Dentist Prentice?
Yeah, it's Michael and Dwight talking. What's the hero's name? Odysseus. Your Odyssey's hero is Odysseus? Yeah. Huh. Sounds a lot like Odyssey. Maybe that's why he went to go on an Odyssey.
By the way, I just started playing.
It really made me cackle.
Mario Odyssey. It's a fun little game.
Oh, I've heard good things about that game.
Yeah, a little game. You throw your hat at stuff. Yeah, this movie is starring Tom Holland, Matt Damon, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson is Backinson, and Charlize Theron. This is a 10-year journey home after the Trojan War for our hero Odysseus.
I mean, it's Christopher Nolan. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I'm not going to pretend I'm super jacked up about the Odyssey.
I'm not super jacked about this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mean, I'm sure I'll be super jacked up like the week before, but until then, this just exists.
But you know what we are jacked about? News dump. Jared Leto is set to play Skeletor.
More like Jared Skeleto. Huh?
I was trying to think of something. I don't like Skeleto.
Why?
I don't know.
Skeletor. He's certainly gonna lose 100 pounds to play this role. We know that.
He might take his skin off. We don't know.
Breaking news. Jared Leto removes skin for new role.
For Skeletor.
Don't do the voice. This is gonna be interesting because Skeletor Doesn't take much acting to do Skeletor, so I don't know why they got
I
Jared
don't know
Leto.
this, yeah. News dump. Christopher Columbus was asked how the parents from Home Alone, he's the director from the movie, how he also sailed the ocean blue in 1492, but
Right.
how Kevin's parents were able to afford such a large house and have 37 children. And he said the mom was a very successful fashion designer and the father could have worked in advertising. I don't remember what the father did, but it's not organized crime.
Uncle Frank could have been an organized crime, that piece of shit.
Uncle Frank was a cheap fuck.
And we see it a little bit in our area, Goo. I think the older cities, more northern and eastern, you have old money where like someone bought or built a house 120 years
Yeah.
ago for $8 and it just stays in the family. So in my mind, that was sort of what it was. I never really thought about what they did for work.
No, and I think Home Alone 2 kind of plays into what you're talking about. I thought that they just came from some money. Maybe they knew how to invest and they still worked very hard to have another job. But like Kevin's other uncle, his father, Peter's brother, has that amazing apartment in New York. And he's in
a vacant New York City apartment that he doesn't care to fix up. So clearly there's like some behind the scenes money going on here.
Family money.
Yeah, I never have thought too much. Obviously, we've heard about that. People joke about that, but it's never bothered me about the movie.
No. News dump. Jim Carrey was asked about playing the Grinch again, and he said on one condition, he wants mocap because all that makeup was difficult to put on and take off.
Yeah, I think that seems fair. He was a great Grinch, admittedly. I think that's
crass. I don't care for it.
I think it's a pretty fair assessment from old James Carrey there, where you just put a few stickers on his face and they can pretty much do the exact same thing.
I heard he needs money. Was that just an internet thing?
It's gotta be an internet thing because him and Jenny McCarthy never even got married, so it's not like she divorced him and stole all his money. Is he just bad with his money?
I don't know, because he said a couple years ago that he was going to retire unless the perfect script came out, and then he was in Sonic 3 where he plays two people.
Do you think that the number 23 bankrupted him? He funded that whole project?
And then he was asked about why he did this movie, and he says, to pay for stuff.
Maybe he's got a crippling gambling addiction.
Can't stop buying Fabergé eggs. Yeah, if you make this, I don't want another Grinch. I liked that animated Grinch movie with Benedict Cumberbatch that came out a couple years ago, actually.
I actually still haven't seen that.
I liked that one. I was at Target yesterday, the day after Christmas. That's the perfect day to go to Target. You can buy Christmas ornaments at half off at that point. Nothing jumped out to me at 50%. When it's at 70%, I might go back. But
how come we don't have a term for the day after stuff? The day before is the eve. What's the day after?
Post, right? Post-Christmas?
We don't call it that. Christmas Eve, Christmas post. We don't call it that.
I think it's Boxing Day, right?
I think it is technically Boxing Day, yes. And the start of Hanukkah, I believe. First day of Hanukkah.
Hanukkah started on Christmas, didn't it? And then Kwanzaa's the day after.
Oh, I thought they both started the day after Christmas. I could be wrong.
Well, Hanukkah's a floating holiday, right? Because it's not always the same date.
Sure about that?
I'm not. No. Rugrats didn't go into the dates. They just told me the story of it. I know it that way. The Holiday Armadillo also filled in some blanks as well.
Maybe it does start in Christmas. I think it goes from Christmas to New Year's, Hanukkah, right?
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Someone let us know.
I was at Target and they had Christmas books that were half off. And I was like, I'll buy the Grinch for next year. Then we can read the Grinch for next year. And I picked up the Grinch book and it said how the Grinch lost Christmas. I'm not buying this shit. I want how he stole Christmas. I don't want how he
a sequel.
Maybe.
I thought we see how in the Grinch stole Christmas how he lost Christmas. No,
right?
Yeah, that's a confusing book.
Seuss. You're always looking for money.
News State.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now looking like a no-go on a revival. Melissa Fumero. I'm having a tough time today. She played Amy Santiago, and she said the idea of a Brooklyn Nine-Nine revival has been kicked around, but she doesn't think it'll ever happen.
Goo, you fucking blew it. What's the German word for no, Goo?
9.
Yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, more like Brooklyn 9-9. Huh?
I
Cut
wrote the
to the
headlines
clip.
really quickly.
Cut to the clip of Hitler and Inglourious Bastards.
Well, also, one of Conan O'Brien's best jokes, of course, too.
Say that
Have you
joke
heard
to me.
this one?
Probably, but I don't remember it.
I don't want to butcher it, but it has to
Okay.
do. He
Google it.
he has a German girlfriend, and he always asks her, or he asks all of his girlfriends to rate their sexual encounters on
I
a
have
scale of
heard this.
1 to 10.
Yeah.
And then one time they tried something, and she said 9. I'm going to say it on YouTube to kill our algorithm.
Yeah, right.
It's a great joke.
Mm.
But yeah, also they lost one of their cast members, Lieutenant Holt. So that would be, or Commissioner Holt.
No,
So
well, yeah, he did become commissioner. Yeah,
yeah, that would be a tough sell. Plus, the show just ended.
Yeah, it ended like 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I don't care for these revivals.
I don't want them.
And like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I really enjoy, and I think you really
Same.
enjoy it. But I don't think it has the fandom for this revival either. It's not a Parks and Rec. It's not an Office. It was a good like second tier NBC comedy.
And also, it was consistently funny throughout all 8 seasons, but like I wasn't compelled to watch beyond season 5 or 6.
No, I agree.
News dump. Speaking of Mac loving revivals, looking like we might be getting a Mummy reboot, this time from the people over at Blumhouse with Evil Dead Rise director Lee Cronin. He said this will be unlike any Mummy movie you've ever laid your eyeballs on before. I'm digging deep into the earth to raise something very ancient and very frightening.
So they're still holding out hope that they can build out this what is the classic monster universe?
The monster the dark universe, but they're not going to call it that because of how the other one took off.
Yeah, so they started that last one with the Mummy, Tom Cruise's The Mummy, and it was terrible. Yes. And then we ended up getting Invisible Man in 2020, I think, in the strike shortened season.
Yeah.
That movie was phenomenal, actually. I think it was the best movie of 2020. Great movie. They are coming out with a movie in that same universe.
The Wolfman.
A Wolfman movie, starring the guy that just played the foreigner in Craven, the guy from Girls, Christopher Abbott. Directed by Lee Wannell. So to me, like, this is like a to be continued. Like, if that movie does well, okay, then maybe we'll make a Mummy. But like the Mummy, you're gonna just confuse people because they're gonna think you're making a movie that's set in the original Mummy universe from
the Brendan Fraser
90s.
Universe.
Yeah, so I don't know. This seems like it's destined to fail either way.
Although I do like them taking a different angle with it because the Brendan Fraser Mummy, although it had some horror elements to it, it was more of like an Indiana Jones action-packed thriller.
Indeed. I agree. Yeah.
So make it spooky.
Make it nice.
Make it spooky. Make sure that the mummy's not circumcised. News dump. All right, thank you for listening to this news dump. Please check us out at the top of next week. Maybe we'll do Sonic 3. Maybe we'll do a complete unknown. Maybe that episode right now is unknown.
Who I would like to know.
Yeah.
At some point on this planet, every person was uncircumcised. And then one day someone's like, if we just cut some skin off the tips of our dicks, we don't have to clean them as much.
I guess the question is when.
I'd like to know how that person generated the movement on that. No, we won't do it when we're adults because it hurts. We'll do it to newborn children because they won't remember.
Guys, hear me out. We're going to do this. What do you mean? God, check out mine. It's a little raw.
See?
But
see?
Yeah.
I
get what
you're pull
saying.
back?
Yeah, I get. All right, news dump. And in this post-credit, we have news, we have terrible news. This broke while recording. The Batman 2 has been delayed once again, this time by 1 year to October 1st, 2027.